I've always believed that who we truly are is revealed in the moments no one else notices, in the pauses, the silence, and the quiet choices we make. And that night at my best friend's birthday gathering, I learned more than I ever wanted to about loyalty, respect, and the unspoken boundaries that exist between friends. My name is Daniel. I'm 37, and I've been married to Emily for 8 years. Emily has this natural ability to light up any room she enters. She doesn't try, and she doesn't do it intentionally. It's simply who she is. That was something I used to love about her. I still do. But I never realized how easily admiration from other people could slowly turn into something else, something unwelcome. The party was at Jason's house. Jason and I go way back. We played on the same college football team, lived in the same dorm hall, and served as each other's best man at our weddings. He was the kind of friend you never questioned. So when he invited us over, I didn't hesitate. We arrived expecting nothing more than laughter, familiar stories, too much food, and music that seemed a little too loud for people our age. At first, that was exactly what it was. But as the night went on, I began noticing things. Small things, the kind you try not to acknowledge because admitting them means something might actually be wrong. Jason kept finding his way toward Emily. Not in a friendly way, and definitely not an innocent one. His eyes stayed on her a little too long. His laughter brought him a little too close. His hand brushed against her arm in a way that didn't feel accidental. Not once, not twice, but 3 times. I tried convincing myself I was imagining it. I didn't want to be the jealous husband. I didn't want to become the guy who took something harmless and turned it into a problem. But then I saw him lean closer and whisper something that made Emily look away. Her smile disappeared, replaced by obvious discomfort. That was the moment I felt the air tighten in my chest. I walked away for a minute, went into the kitchen, and poured myself a drink I didn't even want. I wasn't angry. Not yet. I was thinking. Evaluating. Anger is like fire. If you don't control it, it can burn everyone around you, including yourself. When I returned, Jason was showing Emily old pictures on his phone. They were photos from before she and I were married. Pictures from nights I could barely remember. Then he said, "Danny used to chase every girl in college, but none of them were as pretty as you." It sounded like a compliment, but there was something sharp underneath it, something he wanted me to hear. Emily stepped back, clearly uncomfortable. He either didn't notice or simply didn't care. I watched for a few seconds, just long enough to decide who I wanted to be. Then I walked over with a calm I didn't completely feel. He greeted me with the loud, friendly grin he always wore when he wasn't thinking about consequences. I smiled back, not because I wanted to match his energy, but because I wanted to disarm him. Then, I turned toward Emily and said quietly, "Can you get my jacket?" "From the living room?" She nodded and walked away. She didn't seem confused. She knew something had changed. Once it was only the two of us, I spoke calmly. "Jason," I said, "you're one of the people I trusted most. Someone I welcomed into my home, my life, and my family. So when I see you flirting with my wife in front of everyone, I don't feel angry. I just feel deeply disappointed." His smile faded. His eyes briefly revealed that he knew exactly what I meant. He tried to brush it aside. "Man, it was only a joke. Just having some fun?" I didn't raise my voice. I didn't move closer. I didn't create a scene. I simply told him flirting with another man's wife doesn't make you confident. It makes you look small. Then, I took the drink from his hand, placed it on the counter, and said, "You don't need another drink. You need to take a good look at yourself." The room didn't become completely silent, but the mood shifted. His wife, Claire, turned around at exactly the right moment, and she heard enough. Emily came back with the jacket. I quietly thanked her, then I said, "Let's go." We walked out without slamming doors or trading angry words. Just quiet, heavy, but steady. Inside the car, she whispered, "I didn't know what to do. I didn't want to make things worse." I told her. You didn't have to. I saw everything. She looked at me then, not with fear or guilt, but with relief, because I had chosen respect instead of rage. The next morning, Jason texted, "I'm sorry I crossed the line." I didn't reply, not because I was bitter, but because some apologies are acknowledgments, not invitations to continue a conversation. A week later, Claire called Emily. That night became a reckoning in their marriage, something they needed but had avoided for years. We didn't become enemies. We simply grew apart. Life created the distance on its own. Emily and I, however, became closer. We talked openly. We created quiet, firm boundaries. We began spending our weekends differently. More time together. Less time trying to prove anything to anyone. More moments that belonged only to us. Looking back, I realize I could have lost control that night. I could have shouted, confronted him, or humiliated him. But I didn't. Because sometimes strength isn't found in how loudly you speak. It's found in the calmness of your restraint and in the way you choose to walk away while still knowing exactly who you are.